Hello everyone, I'm Dave Robbins with Endtime Ministries, and this is your Prophecy in the News. I want to talk to you today about a prophecy given in Revelation chapter 13, verses 1 through about 6 or 7. It foretells of a world governing body that will be set up that will rule the earth just before the second coming of Jesus Christ. And I want to show you that we're already into that world governing body. It's not being set up right now. We're already at the culmination of it. It's already set up, and the world is actually adhering to its laws. We just saw a depiction of this in this recent Syrian conflict when Putin, we were actually going to go in and bomb Syria because of they fired off chemical weapons, but Putin said, hey, Obama, you can't do that unless you get approval through the UN Security Council, and we're vetoing that. And so Obama said, well, I won't go in and bomb unless I get approval from the United Nations. And so we're seeing a world governing body ruling what's going on in the earth today. So I want to show you how far we are already into this world governing body, which shows us how we're in the end times right now. This is an article from the Council on Foreign Relations, and it states, the title of the article is The United Nations and the Future of Global Governance. A couple excerpts from the article says, therefore the world must be governed as a whole. This is a explicit prophetic fulfillment. Therefore the world must be governed as a whole. The UN is the necessary mediator for this global management. So they're talking about a world government here, and they're saying the United Nations is this world governing body. It says the sovereign state is reshaped both internally and externally, and the order is governed by a universal social contract governed by the UN. They're telling you what it is. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. There is no other way to transform the jungle of states into a society. And then this final excerpt from the article is what I really want you to listen closely. It says, as we adapt to emerging global threats, let's not lose the sight of what we have achieved. The UN has largely fulfilled the chartered goals established in San Francisco 67 years ago, and in doing so has spawned an extensive body of international law, treaties, norms, practices, and institutions that govern most facets of interstate relations. With these apps, the UN Charter has become the world's central operating system, the motherboard of global governance. Whenever you hear the term global governance, it's world government. There's no difference. Making it possible for ideas such as the Millennium Development Goals to become policy drivers, and for other organizations, notably NATO, G8, G20, and civil society, to function more effectively. Now, there's one key sentence I want to bring back up. If you understand anything about the United Nations and the original charter, they adhered to the original charter that was penned by Alger Hiss originally. They still adhere to that charter. The original charter of the United Nations was penned by Alger Hiss, who was a convicted communist spy. So the United Nations is set up to be a communistic world government entity. And if you look in the Bible, Revelation chapter 17, it gives a depiction of the world governing beast, and it says that it's a scarlet colored beast or a red beast. Well, we know that from the four seals that the color red represents communism, the thought process of communism in the world. So this world governing beast will be, the world government will be a communistic or a socialistic entity. Well, to show you how it's a fulfillment of prophecy, this article is saying, with these apps, the UN Charter, this communistic, was written by Alger Hiss, who was a convicted communist spy. The UN Charter has become the world's central operating system, the motherboard of global governance. So they're not even trying to hide it anymore. They're saying, hey, we adhere to this UN Charter. It's the world's central operating system. It's what we're going to rule the world by. It's going to be a communistic entity, and it's a direct fulfillment of Bible prophecy. The Bible prophecies are coming to pass one right after another. We're living through this, and we're giving up our sovereignty to the United Nations all the time. We're watching it happen in the news. So we want to keep you up to date on how close we are to the second coming of Jesus Christ. Revelation 13 says that just before the second coming of Jesus Christ, a world governing body will be formed that will be a communistic, socialistic entity, and the Antichrist and the false prophet will eventually rule over this world governing body. We're watching it happen in our news today. And we want to keep you up to date to give you direction on what to do in the near future. Thank you for watching. I'm Dave Robbins with Endtime Ministries, and this is your Prophecy in the News.